Hey y'all, man, it has been a while, and let me just tell you, I don't know if anybody else has been lifing, but yes, life has been lifing. Um, there's just been a lot of changes towards the end of the year for me, a lot of transitioning, new things, beginnings, just everything, so overwhelming. Now it's the end of the year, and I just don't even know. I it was to the point where I was just trying to skip over the holidays and forgot that the end of the year is a thing and we about to start a new one, you know. So I just decided to get on here um and really just check in and just chat for real. Um no agenda for anything, just more so venting or talking, whatever. Um, but yeah, so let's talk about moving. Like, not just moving to a new place from your hometown or just whatever, but literally relocating yourself, starting a new life, just, yeah, let's get into it. Um, to be honest, I don't think that people really acknowledge the struggles that you're initially going to go through when you move. I feel like a lot of people are always just talking about the good stuff as far as when they move away from home, they're just like, I'm never going to go back. This is great. And that may very well be their experience, but to be honest, I feel like people are capping. I feel like they are just trying to let people know, like, yeah, they're getting out and experiencing new things, but I think people are really afraid to just acknowledge the fact that they miss their hometown. And to be honest, it probably really does depend on where you're from, because like people that maybe move from New York to fucking California or something, like, yeah, that might be a change where they're like, "Ah, I don't want to go back to New York." Because me personally, I wouldn't want to live in New York. But, and that was no shame to anybody that lives there or is from there, but, everybody has their preferences. And what I was learning, or what I had even told myself before I relocated, was that I got to get my mind right, because moving, you're just physically moving, but you have to be prepared for the mental side of everything. Because whatever battles you're going through or things that you haven't necessarily worked out, when you go somewhere else, that's not gonna change. Yeah, you might be from somewhere where it's cold winters and snowy, and so you go through that depressional period. But when you move somewhere that's sunny all the time, um, it might get a little cold, but it's not going to snow, and you might think like, yeah, this is going to be so much better. But the reality is, you are not going to skip past none of that stuff. It's, I don't know how to explain it, but you have to have your mind right when you move. You have to know that, like, mentally, you are at peace wherever you're deciding to go. Like, don't move anywhere in hopes of, chasing something physical, or feeling like, oh, when I go here, I know I'll be better. You know, in general, you have to be better before you leave, type shit. you already have to be mentally okay before you leave to know that you will continue to be mentally okay. And you might be mentally okay when you leave, and then when you arrive to your new place, you might be on high for like the first week, and then after that, then the stuff starts to hit you, and I think that stuff is kind of normal. As far as like if you're moving places and you don't have anybody, um, that is just what it's gonna feel like. You're gonna feel alone, and then especially when it's holiday season, holiday time, whatever, like, and stuff is closed and you don't have anybody to really spend that time with. That stuff does get to you, and then especially if you're on social media, you're seeing everybody with their families, you're seeing your family with each other, and having a good time. And it's like, man, that stuff really does suck. But, on the other hand, it's also just like, it's a crazy battle because you feel like that when you're away from people, but then also put yourself in your shoes when, like, if you were to be back at home, like, you might have been happy to be with your family on Christmas, but maybe you wouldn't have been. Like, maybe you would have only been content with being around them for like 10 minutes and then you ready to go type shit, but it's like your mind is also playing tricks on you because you're not getting that 10 you're not getting 10 minutes at all. Like, you're not seeing nobody at all. So then it's just like, man, I really am like lonely or sad, you know um but yeah, you experience those things, and then it's like depending on where you're from too. Like, if you're from a smaller city and you go to a bigger city, it's like, man, you're just so overwhelmed. Like, you're so overwhelmed with all this stuff to do. And to be honest, like, I was surprised that there wasn't like that many places for me to eat. Like, you think when you move somewhere, you finna try all this new food, whatever, whatever. And then it's like, man, this food is trash. Or, it's just not what you thought it would be. And depending on like what culture you're looking to be around too, like, if you're trying to be around your people more, if you're African American, it's like, is there an abundance of your people there, or is there not? Like, is there events that you can go to that bring you some kind of comfort, and I don't know. There's a lot of stuff, but I mean, it's also easy to kind of find those things if you're somebody that likes to network. And especially like if you're on social media, you can easily like look up groups. It's easier to look up groups now, especially on Facebook, to see like what's kind of going on around you. If you like yoga, you can search yoga, you can find yoga groups, you can find hiking groups, you can find fitness groups, like, and it can be as specific as, yeah, African American hiking group. Like, it that stuff is easy to find. However, it's like actually getting yourself out there to do those things. Um, and something about me is that even though I do like to network, and like, I I do like to be around people sometimes, but I would say when I first moved, and even still now, it's going on what, 3-4 months. I spent a lot of time in isolation, literally isolating myself, and I would 10 out of 10 never recommend. Don't do that. Definitely try to get out, meet people, but it's just also what are you looking for and what is your goal? Because yeah, you can go out, you can go to the club, you can go wherever, walk around in public, you'll meet people, but it's like, are they real, genuine connections? Who really knows? And I'm not somebody that really likes the small talk stuff. Um, but obviously, when you're moving to a new place and you don't have any of your friends or your family, like, some's got to give, You got to be willing to get out of your comfort zone a little bit if you're going to find any comfort at all. Um, so yeah, and a lot of the days for me have been like back and forth. It's like some days I'm like super excited to get up and see what I can get into for the day. Um, and other days I just be like, man, I am ready to go home. And I think that what it is that, like, I've also realized that I really am content with the more simple things in life. Like, I'm from a smaller city. I already had like my go-to places for going out to eat. I'm plant-based, so it was like I had my go-to spots. I had my little smoothie shop that I would go to every day, and really building those connections with people. And I know a part of that is because that's comfort, and that was like in my routine a little bit. And here I have to find a new routine. I have to find new stuff. But I've just noticed, like, even as simple as something like this, my smoothie shop that I was going to, it was like, it's so hard to just find a natural juiced place. Like, I be going to these shops and I be sitting here just trying to get a simple ass juice. Like, I just want a fucking, I don't know, watermelon juice. Seeded watermelon juice. Like, I want the real fruits. I don't want no frozen fruit. I don't want no unseeded watermelon. Stuff like that. Like, and that is actually very hard to find. A lot of people in these smoothie shops, they do frozen fruits. They like to add all the extras to um the smoothies, and it's like, me, I know it's just because I would prefer my stuff to just be clean, and that's just being picky. But a lot of places don't even have that as an option. Like, they don't have that as an option, and I'm just like, okay, you know I know that I have to make more stuff at home, opposed to going out and trying to get those things that I used to. And it's just hard finding a balance with all of that. Um, and I don't know, I would say that is pretty much my spiel on moving. Um, and just as far as just like mental health goes, like, taking a break on podcasting, like, I had also realized too that when I was back home, like, I just had more drive to like go after stuff that I want to do for myself. And I was trying to get myself in a routine of researching every day and staying on top of stuff. I was even uploading my podcasts weekly like I was supposed to. And then it was like all of a sudden I had just like fell off, like, I hadn't been podcasting because I'm like, I don't even know what to talk about. I don't have nothing to say. Like, I just was lacking the creativity. I don't know, I had set myself back a lot as far as like following my dreams and my ambitions, and um like, yeah, moving was a part of that. Of, I felt like I had to get out and breathe a little bit, and that's fine. But again, it goes back to that piece of you got to be mentally straight before you go, because I was kind of relying on like the fact that I'm relocating and that's gonna like set me up for more success, you know? And yeah, if I would probably get out more, I would feel more inclined to do so. But it's just like on a on a regular basis though, I haven't felt that drive to go hard for myself at all. And then like as far as my branding goes and my businesses, like they are at a complete standstill. Like I had went through and cleaned out all my social media for my businesses, and it was like that's it. Like they have been empty since then. I haven't had nothing to upload, nothing to say, and it's like a part of me feels like I need to go through a rebranding, or like just take a step back and see what it is exactly that I want to do. Um, I definitely do want to get back on track with everything, and I know I said earlier like the new year is coming up too, but I'm gonna just throw this in here to be honest. It is not a new year for me. Um, New year for me starts in March. Um, and that's just what it is. That's what I've always considered it to be. But it's, because everybody else celebrates it. That's what I had said earlier. Is like, yeah, the new year is coming, but really, we're gonna be going through this seasonal stuff until it is springtime, when stuff blooms and actually becomes alive, and then you feel more inclined to do for yourself and get outside. And that's also why, like, when people set these goals to do stuff come January 1, it's like they can only be consistent for like a few days, and if they finish out the month, that's great. But then they realize like they're back in the same routine, and then they're getting on themselves because they're not sticking to it. And it's because it is hard to try to set goals during this time, like to set new goals at that. Like if it's not something that you've already been working on, it's going to be harder for you to try to all of a sudden snap out of what you've been feeling and going through, just because to you you're like, oh, it's a new year, and now I'm going to start something new on this day, which is like tomorrow I'm gonna start this, and then actually continue to do that. Like, no. And I'm not trying to knock anybody. I'm just really trying to more so just give you grace. Like, yes, it's totally hard to sit there and try to like put that on yourself that you're gonna start these things. But you can most definitely, like, I encourage you to still do like your vision boards and tell yourself you want to do these things, because just in general with how life works, that's how you change anything. Like anytime somebody want to say they want to go to the gym, it is best to wake your ass up and go to the gym the next day than to sit here and be like, oh, I'm gonna start going to the gym come Monday. Like, cause then Monday come and then you be like, actually, I'm gonna do tomorrow. Like, like you, just on a discipline level, like, yeah, if you want to start something for yourself, then do that shit and do something that is gonna help you, like, track that, or, keep you on task, or get an accountability partner that can really help you do that. Um, but yeah, but to some of us, it's just gonna be just regular stuff, and we're going to be continuing to work out, you know, what we got going on in life at this moment. But yeah, um, I would just say it has been a huge mental struggle, and like I have felt just totally out of touch with reality. Um, and same with like my people, and like I've been talking to people less. I mean, I talk to like my family more often than not, but even just like my friends from back home, I've been talking to people less, and it's literally just because, when people go through depression and whatever else they're dealing with, nothing is personal. And that is just life rule number one. Nothing is personal. Um like I definitely wouldn't choose to be sitting here and not talking to nobody, but it's just like sometimes you can start your day with 5 energy points, and it took all 5 points just to wake up. And then you just sit here like, I don't even know what to do with myself today. I don't even want to do anything with myself today, you know? Um, but some people have their reasons. Like if you have kids, like I'm sure that helps you a ton, or if you got a job to wake up to, that's different. But for people like me that are trying to figure out life on their own, like we not trying to slave to the white man. We really out here trying to be entrepreneurs and just figure stuff out. So yes, it can be hard. Um, and it's also hard to just be honest with people about that stuff too. Because a lot of times you can feel like um you may open up to somebody and let them know that you're struggling, and it's like that one person just probably wasn't the right person to open up to, as far as like maybe they just responded real dry, or they didn't have much to say, and then all of a sudden you're just like, yeah, see, this is why I don't even bother talking to people about this shit, because nobody understands. Like then that's when you get to the nobody can help me mentality. But it's like everybody has their own thing going on. And yes, we all do wish that we could talk to somebody and it's like we can walk away from that conversation like just confident as hell. That's what we look forward to. But the fact of the matter is, like, everybody expresses themselves differently. A lot of people don't even know how to respond to things. And it's not that they purposely like don't try to react to you, and maybe some people do, but like a lot of people just don't know how to handle the stuff that you say, or it's like they don't know how to respond. um and to me, like, I'm already knowing that. I already know a lot of the times, like when I suffer through my things in silence, it's because mentally I have also already told myself like nobody can help me. Like there's no need for me to sit here and vent to people about my life and what I have going on, because at the end of the day, you have to help yourself. And, I had seen this post that was just talking about like what people with depression look like, because it's like you don't even, like, your mom could be calling you, and it's like all of a sudden you switch to your Karen voice when you at work. When you a black person and you at work and your customer service voice, like that's how it be in real life. Like when you're trying to talk to other people and you don't really feel it, like you're trying to play this character that's like, I'm fine, yeah, everything's great, and blah 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 blah, like, and then you get off the phone and you exhausted as hell from trying to keep up with this character. But it's just like, because you want to just suffer in your own space. Like, you don't want to, either it's because you don't want to, like, hear nobody's, Like, some people can only tell you the same shit you already know. And a lot of times you don't want to hear that either. You don't want to hear stuff you already know. And sometimes that's the best advice that people can give you. Or it's just like, again, you'll vent to them, they don't got nothing to say, and then you'll feel dumb as hell. Or just like, yeah, I shouldn't have even wasted my time sharing all this because it didn't make me feel better. Um, so, yeah, it just sucks. You know, it does suck because you really do have to get yourself out of that. You have to fight every morning to get yourself right, um, however you need to. And with me in particular, like, my diet is a huge factor. Like, I have to eat better, I have to eat healthier to already start my day with wins because I'm somebody that is affected by the food that I eat. So if I'm sitting here eating lower vibrational foods, it affects my mood. If I'm not starting my day off with fasting and then eating some fruit, and like that's how I break my fast, is trying to eat fruit and then, eating a meal later, then I can definitely tell the difference in how I wake up or how I'm operating throughout the day. And that's something too, because ever since I moved, I have just been eating crazy as hell. Like, I'm eating stuff that I have not eaten in years, you know? Like, even like the other day I let myself eat McDonald's. I ate McDonald's and I was like, oh my gosh, like the whole time I'm sitting there eating it, I'm like, bro, I don't even know why I'm sitting here eating this. Like, I cannot believe I am sitting here eating this. And it's just so crazy because I will be actively telling myself, I do not want to eat like this. I don't want to eat like this. And then, like, the next day, I'm supposed to start my day off with some fruit. And then I'll just be sitting here like, I don't want to eat that. Like, now all of a sudden, I'm rejecting the stuff that I'm supposed to eat. And so it's just been like a real struggle in that department. And I don't know. I don't know. So we're just trying to grace ourselves and figure out what the fuck we need to do to get back on track, to feel like ourselves, to feel rejuvenated, to feel uplifted, to feel in tune with oneself, because it has not felt like that. And like, everything just feels so distant. And I feel like, I don't know, I just also feel like I'm somebody that I do not um functionally express myself. Like, what I mean by that is, I just don't know how to be with people anymore. Ever since, like, I had just stopped celebrating holidays and stuff like that, it's just been weird because, obviously a lot of my people still celebrate, and especially if they got kids, birthdays, whatever. And it's like, I don't know how that stuff really makes me feel, because I'm like, I don't want people to think that I don't care about them because I'm not a materialistic person, but then it's like, well, if that's their love language, how do you make somebody else feel good, that's on a common ground? Like, are people still going to be understanding if they're like, yeah, I know this person doesn't celebrate anything? Are they okay with that, or are they truly offended by it? Like, do they be feeling some type of way that, you know, this person didn't acknowledge them on quote unquote Christmas and stuff like that? Because to me, I also feel like it just takes a lot of energy to just be like, oh, hey, by the way, um, I don't believe in this stuff, but Merry Christmas, or have a good day. Like, I don't know, it's just so weird to explain to people sometimes. Um, but then also, like, I do feel inclined sometimes to send gifts. Like, I'm not a materialistic gift giver. I'm more of like, I want to make you something that makes you feel good, you know? Something that has purpose. It might not be something that is like super cool to you, but like just at the end of the day, it's something that, represents you or something that you like, you know. Um I don't know, but yeah, I don't know what else I want to rant about, but I just hope that everybody else is, you know, um sticking in there, cuz not everybody may be feeling it. Some people might actually feel good, and for that you should, um everybody deserves to feel good. Everybody deserves to find peace. Um so I hope that you do. And for people that, you know, they're in the same boat or worse, you know, like, to be honest, I cannot tell you like life is going to get better, um because at the end of the day, it's what you take from it, we have to be the alchemist. If life has been rough for you, what are you taking away from it? What are you being taught right now? What do you need to change to get out of that predicament? I know, like, a lot of people will even be like, bad stuff is always happening to me. Like, is it? And it may seem that way, but it's like, what are the situations though? Are you in a cycle, or, you know, have you not learned the lesson? And like, that's just what it is. But you got to be an alchemist, and you got to find peace in everything. And that's what stage I'm at right now. Like, no matter if I feel good about what is going on around me, I do have to be at peace with it. I have to be at peace with knowing, like, every situation is temporary. You don't have to be stuck in anything. You're not a tree. And you can always be changing, always be constantly evolving. It's up to you. Um, and so it's like every day I just try to trick my mind, or I just try to do something different to pick myself back up. And, like, sometimes that's all you can do. Like, not every day is going to be full of events. It's just as simple as some days you're just surviving, and that's just what it is, survive until you've made it past that wave. Um yeah, and then I don't know, I also had watched a video today, and this is um another little random rant, but it was some interesting insight as far as like people in relationships go. Because I always feel like I need to touch on relationships, because this always seems to be the hardest concept for people. But basically, like, in the video, he was just talking about like how he was in a relationship, and the girl was actually really happy, and the girl told him like that's the happiest that she's ever been, and she didn't even know like she was that deserving of that love, and that he actually didn't do anything wrong, but she was ready to let that relationship go. Um, and he was just completely devastated by it and confused. And he just, like, from that experience, he just decided that he did not want to date for a while. because he's been grieving that process. And it was on my mind to really add to that, because, I don't want to invalidate anybody's feelings when it comes to relationships. And to be honest, this is relationships in general. We got relationships with our friends, our parents, our partners, whomever, and no relationship is off limits when it comes to healthy boundaries, and when it just, like, when things expire. And I think that um a lot of people can become fixated on somebody, and I think that it's such a hard concept to grasp because people feel like, I don't know, like, people can feel like people are in the wrong for just wanting to up and leave a relationship. Like, just as simple as what she said in her reasoning. Like, and to me, it's like that's all. Like, she doesn't have to over explain herself or feel bad about her choosing. And even with him, I understand him being devastated. But the thing about the men too is that a lot of men operate out of their root chakra, and it's like they get so stuck in this, like, they don't want to experience things or allow themselves to open up fully because they don't want to experience hurt, even though they will put that on a lot of women. Like, they will hurt a lot of women, and women got to feel that because that's what women do, and that's what makes us stronger as human beings, because we go through experiences, sometimes really tough experiences, that feel like we can't even live anymore, but it's like we somehow manage to always come out on top, and find ourselves, and then all of a sudden we're, anew. But it's like men, they don't do too well with that. And, like, I'm not trying to tell anybody how they're supposed to live their lives. This is me just speaking on, just how I feel about the situation. But people really are supposed to be experiences. And, like, yes, you can love somebody fully, but, when you're in a relationship, look at your partner as if you're looking in a mirror. And it's like, is this person, like, reflecting my wounds? Or, like, what is this relationship based off of? Is this a codependent relationship? Like, am I with this person because, I don't know, rent is easier, or bills are easier, or I don't want to be alone? Or is it like, when you're with this person, like, are they reflecting your own, like, things that you are doing yourself, you know? And it's like, that is a relationship that you can really learn from, because when you're just always so used to nitpicking at people and, not really seeing your own faults, it's like sometimes your partners are reflecting exactly what you are. And that's how you can learn how to work on yourself and the energy that you're putting out in a relationship to heal that relationship and work together to make that experience better. But when relationships are just codependent relationships, when they're just trauma bonds, like, you guys don't have no real, like, learning points in your relationship, as far as, like, if it is a codependent relationship, what are you learning from each other? You're not learning anything from one another. Like, you're literally just dealing with each other because you got to make shit work. type shit is what you're telling yourself. It's not like, this person is teaching me independence, like we're both independent of one another and coming together, you know, because essentially both of you should have your cup full and you come together and now you are filling the cup together because you're both whole. It's not one person is coming with a cup full and the other person got a half empty cup, and like they're only pouring a little bit because that's all they got, and then you're just pouring all of your cup into there, and you not getting nothing back out of that because they don't have anything to give, and my take on people is that, like, even when experiences seem like they are the worst experience, like if people been in relationships with abusive people or cheaters, like even that shit is not even personal. And I think that's what so many people are just so caught up on, because it's like, oh, if your partner cheats on you, it's the end of the world. And I'm not I'm not condoning your partner cheating. What I'm saying is, for you as a person, if your partner is constantly cheating on you, what is that saying about yourself? What is that saying about how you internally feel about yourself? Not them. Like, completely zone out the fact that this person is out there cheating. It's what are you accepting, though? Because this person is not cheating because you're a shitty person and you're this, that, and the third. A person is cheating because of their own shit that they have going on. Whatever internally they're telling themselves, whatever fight they're dealing with, or whatever, that is why people cheat. Nobody is you cannot sit here and say that you're just cheating on somebody because of them. No. If there is something wrong with your partner that you are not okay with, you need to be a better communicator. And that's the thing. And if you've communicated and nothing is changing, that does not mean, oh, I'm going to just sit here and still date them, though, and go cheat. Like, no. You guys need to literally figure out that internal thing right there. Because then for you to be the partner that's just accepting the cheater all the time, like, at this point, this is either a codependent bond or a trauma bond. It's not a real relationship. And there's a reason why you are sticking around if that's what your partner is doing. But in no way, shape, or form should anybody walk away from a relationship thinking like, I'm less than because I got cheated on, or I'm less than because somebody was abusing me. At the end of the day, people make their own decisions based off of themselves. Even when shit seems personal, it is not personal. Nothing is personal. Like, people are okay to literally walk away from something if they feel the need to. And that's me circling back to what that guy was talking about in the video. Like I said, a lot of people are fixated on like being with somebody for the rest of their life, and that is cool. That is cool if that is how life has worked out for you. Like, old people that have been in relationships for fucking 72 years, I'm happy for you. As long as that's a relationship that you genuinely felt happiness from, and not just people that just thugged it out for fucking 72 years and they were miserable and all this shit was happening and the relationship never even found any growth. It actually stayed right where it was, but it's like you guys are just so happy because you did it for 72 years. No. And I think hopefully, like, a lot of people now are discovering that, as far as like really finding happiness in a partner. And if somebody is letting you know things that are bothering them, and you are not fixing them, you cannot be upset that somebody leaves you. You cannot. And a lot of the times, some of the things that people might complain about might be things on your actual personality or character, and that's actually okay too. Because another thing you can just realize is that you're not for everybody. So, yeah, if somebody feels some type of way about something in particular, like, I'm not going to say stuff is not going to hurt, because, yeah, if that was somebody that you might have been happy with, and, like, yeah, of course it's going to be shitty and feel bad, like, and feel not so good if they decide, like, actually, you're not what I'm looking for. But it's the fact that you have to be able to pick yourself up and be like, that's okay. That's okay. Because literally, there is somebody else out there aside from yourself. Because I think that's what a lot of people fail to do. They skip over the step of being with their self. Like, because after you are with yourself for a while, your standards become so fucking high that it even takes a while for you to get back in a relationship because your standards are so high. And you should never come back down from that after you get there. Because literally, stop lowballing yourself and going through these experiences that are like unneeded because you are lowballing yourself. Like, it's one thing to just be like, okay, this is a negotiable, but if it was something that is just like a major red flag, or it's something where you have to completely change yourself for somebody, that is a no-go. And people should not be okay with that. People should not be okay with just completely being somebody else to be happy in a relationship. And no, I'm not talking about the people that literally just are shitty people. Like, yes, you probably do need to change, whether it's you doing your own little shadow work or internal shit, so that you can be a better human. But just in general, like, when you come as you are and you're in a relationship with somebody, their terms should not be that you gotta change yourself. You gotta have a certain demeanor. You gotta wear your jeans like this. You gotta wear this kind of outfit. You gotta do this. Like, no, we're not doing that. But yeah, that was just another minor little rant. Just as far as relationships go, because I know we all be needing to hear that sometimes, and the shit can be hard because a lot of us are confused with people or relationships and how much we should take and how much is enough and whatever, which at the end of the day, it's your choice how much you're going to take. You have all the answers. Facebook can't give you no answers. Instagram can't give you no relationship advice. Stop joining groups and trying to learn specifically about somebody's zodiac sign. Be present with that person. Learn about that person and set your own boundaries. Set a healthy boundary for yourself and just make sure that you're not putting those boundaries aside for anybody. For anybody. And, it's just important that people know how to treat you and you know how to treat people. Don't walk around trying to project how you feel internally on everybody. Because we want that good karma. So, this was a very impromptu podcast. I don't even care about the editing it. I don't even care about putting no theme music on it. I just wanted to throw this out there. And to be honest, I'm not sure when I will record again. But hopefully the next time that you guys hear from me, I will have my whole revamping done. I will have myself together. I will be in higher spirits. I will have 1,001 topics to talk about, you know. But just everybody, we got this. We living, we here, we all getting through life. Um yes. Peace out.